Changing the subject a little bit. You know those people who always want to one-up you in how long they've lived in San Francisco? If you say you moved here in 2013, they're like, oh, I moved here in 2011, back when studios rented for just $4,000 and there were only 2 yakitori places in the entire Mission. Other cities worry about change, but nowhere is as condescending as here. Tonight, I'm going to argue that we in San Francisco are totally incapable of laughing at ourselves. It's so bad. We have to pay big bucks to Hollywood to laugh at us. I mean, we're outsourcing self-mockery. This humor handicap is holding us back. I'm going to go on to propose, in true Silicon Valley fashion, a technological solution to amplify our humor potential so that we can finally stop whining about culture, grow up, and learn to laugh at ourselves. Now, what is humor? Humor is humanizing. It's what lets us empathize with Wall Street's greed or Hollywood's vanity. But we here in techno-utopia are so convinced we're saving the world that we can't even admit to very human motives like greed or vanity or envy. If you look at the mega-rich of past eras, they built railroads and they funded universities. Our new bro-riche fund apps and kids not to go to university. There's something wrong about this. It's just not funny. I feel particularly smug in calling out San Francisco's lack of humor because I hold the ultimate trump card. I grew up here. The only way to trump that is to have grown up in the 70s. Now, in order to consolidate my smug, I launched the Silicon Valley Magnet Poetry Set with over 200 buzzwords that you could recombine to form the elevator pitch for your next billion-dollar Yahoo acquisition. Now, this Kickstarter success confirmed what I'd long suspected, which is that we need a sense of humor. By last spring, I'd shipped the product and reached my stretch goal, which was to get the magnets placed on Peter Thiel's office fridge. But what really humbled me was the community. The poems came flooding in, haikus like an Uber for drones, payable only with Bitcoin, delivering dreams, or a limerick I wrote myself. There once was a girl from Sand Hill Road. Oh, no, wait, there wasn't. Not a single girl from Sand Hill Road. But entrepreneurship, it's all about managing risks. And now that I've made it as a successful magnetpreneur, it's time to give back. You may have heard the Silicon Valley saying, solve your own problems first, kind of like when in an airplane you put your own mask on first before helping others. That philosophy explains why we're doing such amazing things here, like $53 million for an app for on-demand massages. But this innovation has created a linguistic divide. When people come here and start talking about things like Flint, Michigan, water crisis, you're like, what? Flint? Is Flint.com? Is that an app? This is the motivation for version 2 of the Magnets, which is a translation tool. It's an Uber for translation. It lets you take any English sentence and translate it into tech vernacular. You can imagine using this tool to translate daily CNN headlines or to more seamlessly communicate with Midwestern relatives at Thanksgiving. Now, I discovered something really interesting the other day. I put in to my tool the Silicon Valley sentence, entrepreneurs have the power, and it spit out the English sentence, financiers have the power. We believe we're living in the world on the right, but we've actually moved into the world on the left, and this is the fundamental lie of Silicon Valley. In the last decade or so, we've become commoditized. Silicon Valley, as a place for misfits and hackers, is long gone. It's now a place for conformist, if socially awkward kids with CS degrees from Stanford and Harvard MBAs who dream of becoming PMs at Square. Guess who wins in a world of commoditized workers? The people with capital. Now, the money's here to stay. We just need to accept that. Noi Valley is about to become even more unbearable, but this is great news for humor. Just as a maturing child learns self-awareness and a capacity for humor, as San Francisco grows up, we may finally learn to laugh at ourselves. Now, Freud called humor the triumph of narcissism and the triumph over narcissism. And it's my hope that these tools, by shining a light on our own ridiculous language, may finally help with that triumph. We like to think of our algorithms or our translations as somehow neutral, but in fact, they're codified opinion. Here's my opinion. In order to solve the real problems our city faces as it grows, we need to confront the codified mythologies of tech. Humor is not just a sign of a mature culture, but a reminder that not all human problems can be solved with code. Thank you.